Hello everyone, it's Julie here at Big Lakes Dodge. Today I'll be showing you this 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Sport crew cab with 4x4. It's got the 3-liter i6 Hurricane twin turbo with start stop. We got 8-speed automatic transmission. It is diamond black crystal pearl on the outside, and the interior is also a black interior. It does have the sport performance package, or no, sport appearance package. So with that, we got the body color tailgate handle, which I'll show you once you get to the back, the black premium dual power mirrors, and cloth bucket seats. We do also have the black grille with the silver badging, Ram badging. We got some front parking sensors up here on the front, so right there and there. We got our closed loop tow hooks. So before, they used to be an open hook like this. Chrysler has decided, or Dodge, Ram, whatever you want to say, has decided that this is better, which I agree. It's a closed loop, so that way it won't bend as easily over time. We also have some more parking sensors down there, your fog lights, your headlamps are, I believe, LEDs. We got the 1500 badging there with the SST, which is the straight 6 turbo. For wheels, they are, I believe, 20 by 9 inch Chrome-clad Aluminum wheels, so we'll just have one good look at those. Look at all shiny and beautiful. They do also have the 6-bolt pattern on there. That just means that they're rated to handle more weight. I believe it's 20% more than the 5-bolt pattern. We'll go on into the passenger side here, and then just have a look at the interior. So it is a black interior with those premium cloth bucket seats. It is a manual on this side, so we do have to use the levers to adjust it. On our driver's side, it is an 8-way power adjustable. We have all-weather floor mats on here. They are heavy duty. They do also have the Ram logo on there, and then they have these little clips to lock down, so that way they won't shuffle around when you want them to. I'm having a hard time. You gotta pull pretty hard to unlock it there, but that's just if you want to take them out to clean them. We also have our jack compartment here, so it's just tucked away to be nice and neat, looks nice and sleek. But your jack is there. You just pull off this plastic panel. On our door, we got our door pockets, this little cubby here for some extra storage, power locks, power windows. Got the silver accents, as well as this I think it's carbon fiber panel, and then a little bit of fabric insert there as well. Those are the black mirrors that I was telling you about. We do have blind spot monitoring, which is that little triangle there to light up orange when someone's in your blind spot, and then the heated mirrors as well. Looking in here, there's just a good look at our cloth bucket seats. And then on our dash here, we have 2 storage spaces. So we have this one with the Bighorn badging on it, as you've seen. And then it just has this rubber mat as a liner. So if you spill anything in there, if you leave snacks and they melt, whatever, you know, you're trying to hide your chocolate bars and they melt, you can take this out, give it a quick clean, and put it back in there. You also have the lights so you can see what you're grabbing. There's that Bighorn badging for you to have another look at. Open up the glove compartment, and we have our owner's manual in there. So I didn't quite open this one up, but we have the owner's handbook, a quick start guide, your Sirius XM information, and your warranty information, as well as a nice little pouch to put it all in. And that's just tucked away in your glove box for you. Then we have our tailgate removal kit. So this is just to protect your wiring if you ever take your tailgate off. You just pop that in there, and that'll help prevent it from corroding over time, or from the, you know, dirt and debris that gets on there, the salt. So that'll protect it. And then make sure to take this off and put your wiring back into your tailgate once you're hooking it back up. And then you have some extra storage for your gloves as well. Probably fit at least a good 3 pairs of gloves in there, depending on how big the hands are. Then we have this little cubby here. I find that this is the perfect spot to throw your extra charging cables. So we do have some charger ports in the middle here. The only thing is, if you do leave them plugged in there, and you know you set your phone there fairly often, they can get quite tangled up, especially when you're putting drinks and whatnot, because you know cords can be fairly long. So I find that when they're not in use, it's nice to tuck them away here so they're still handy for when you need them, but they're not in the way. But there's just a quick look at this side of the interior. We'll go on into the back and have a look back here. So back here, we have our 60/40 split bench. It is also premium cloth. We have the heavy duty all-weather mats back here as well. We got a cup holder that folds down in the middle, so you have 2 extra cup holder spots. We do also have some in this center console, as well as our door here. We got lots of door pockets, so lots of room for your snacks and drinks. These headrests do fold down, so you have some extra visibility if you're trying to look out your back window, that you can fold these down. They just pop right back up. For our 60/40 split bench, this is the 60 of our 60/40 split, so it folds up all in one piece. You can see there, and then that's our 40. They do have double stitching on them, as you can see here, instead of the previous single stitching. That's just to help it hold up over time, so some extra durability there. And you have some space under here for you know, throwing things if you'd like. It's just some extra space. And then we have our in-floor storage bins, so they are on both sides here and over there. I unclipped this mat already, it was clipped down, but we do have some extra storage space in here. I find that this is the perfect place for your ratchet straps if you don't use them too often. Then you can tuck them away there. I also use mine for shopping bags occasionally, just because I tend to forget them, so it's nice to have them in the truck for when you need them, but you don't want them cluttering up your space. And we also have these little tie-down hooks, so this helps tie down your cargo in the truck bed. They have some on this side, so if you have something here that you don't want to move around, you can tie it down from here to there. Make sure it's nice and secure and it's not going to move around on you. These are rated for about, I can't remember if it's 150 or 250 pounds each. I think it might be 150 each, so they can hold quite a bit of weight, but we'll tuck that away there. Oh wait, one more thing I want to show you is with this in-floor storage bin. Sorry, it's just with the mat there. Oh, there goes my clipboard. We do have a removable liner in here as well. Oh. Okay, yeah. I'm having a hard time grabbing it. There you go. So this does come out if you do want to use that to transport things or to clean. If you spill anything in there, you can clean it out. There's just a quick look at that. Then we have our back seat pockets. So back here you can stick a map, you know, magazines, just things that you want for the road. It's just some extra storage space there for you. We also have this little cubby here. I don't quite know what you would put there, but I feel like you can find something that'll fit. It, you know, it'll come in handy at some point. I'll put this back down here. We do also have these hooks. I never point these out, but we do also have these hooks up here. Those are, I find, good for hanging up like a suit. So if you're a man and you make a lot of business trips, you can hang up your suit there so it's not going to get wrinkled or squished with the rest of your stuff in the back here. I have used mine like that, so it does come pretty in handy. Then we have our rear power sliding window, which is heated as well. So it has the controls up at the front to open that up. That just helps with some extra ventilation. So if you ever find that you open up your windows quite a bit to save using your AC, it just helps with the airflow go right through. Anyways, we're gonna move on back here. It is a 3.55 rear axle ratio, so it's not quite as good for towing. Doesn't have as much towing capabilities, but it would have better fuel economy just due to the you know, not having that extra power for the towing. Our shocks are, or no, not a shock. Our suspension is a progressive rate coil spring. So with that, they do get stiffer the more weight that you put on it. So Rams are quite known for having a pretty good ride. So how that is that the coil springs, they kind of adjust based on the terrain. But the more weight that you put in there, the rougher the ride will get, because there's not as much, you know, I can't find the word for it right now, but there's not as much like softness. No, that's not the word. I don't know. I can't think right now. But anyways, they also have these plastic wheel well liners. So those protect all your insides from all the dirt and debris. They also protect from rocks shooting up there. If you don't have those, they do tend to shoot up and dent your fenders from the inside, and that tends to rust over time. So it just helps protect that. It's nice to have them plastic instead of the felt, because the felt ones do tend to get weighed down with mud. So with the plastic, that's not going to happen. You also have your splash guards, and then the wheel fenders. Those help stop the rocks from spraying out. Okay, now moving on, we do also have our rear parking sensors back here. If you can see through our little exhaust smoke there, we have our rear parking sensors. We also have dual exhaust that comes out the bumper. With the parking sensors, they can see up to, I believe, 79 inches back. So they can see quite far, but it'll tone lock. So as soon as you're getting within a foot of something, it'll do a solid beep to alert you that you're getting too close. So that's nice to have those enabled. You can disable them up front if they ever are annoying. Like if you park in tall grass, they will continue to beep. So it's nice to turn them off at that point. But other than that, definitely leave them on. You're going to want to protect your truck from getting all dented and whatnot. We have sensors in our what are they called? Taillights. So those are for our rear cross path detection. They can look either way. The sensors shoot a beam either way, and then if someone is coming from the side while you're backing up, it'll alert you and it can actually apply the brakes. So that's nice to have. You're going to want everything you can to stay safe from an accident, so that just helps prevent that. Of course, nothing is better than an alert driver, but sometimes you just can't see things coming, so it helps to have those extra safety features just in case. We have our 4 and our 7-pin wiring harness, as well as a class 4 hitch receiver. So this is our 7-pin and our 4-pin. Those are to hook up your trailer lights and your trailer brakes. Below our hitch receiver, we do have our spare tire back there. So how you access that is just in this little cubby here. You would use your tie rod, and then you would go ahead and crank that down. There was something else I was going to mention about that, but I forget now. We do also have our silver ram badging and our bighorn badging there. So those are tailored to each trim level. So if you were to have a Laramie or a Limited or whatnot, it'll say that there as well. But this one is a bighorn, so that's what we have there. We did also have the 4x4 badging on either side because this does have the off-road package. So with that it has the select speed control, which I'll show you once we get up front. It also does have a raised ride height, so that's how you can tell there is a little bit more distance between the wheel and the wheel well liner. So it does have a raised ride height. I can't quite remember how much it is. It's like, I want to say possibly 2 inches, but can't confirm right now. Then we have the e-locking rear axle, so it does lock up in case you are needing to go off-road. You can have that extra traction when needed. We have the off-road decals, which is that 4x4 off-road, fuel tank skid plate, transfer case skid plate, and steering gear skid plate. So it's all protected underneath. It's not going to get messed up by any dirt or debris. The trucks are also rated to go up to the top of the tire rim in water. So if ever you are wanting to go through water while you're off-roading, just make sure it's not going to go above your tire rim. Truck will be perfectly fine underneath that. If it goes above, it might start wrecking stuff, so just keep that in mind. We also have this deployable bed step here, so all you do is just kick that down and it comes out, and that helps you step up into your bed, so it's really, really handy. Let me show you here. We have a dampened tailgate as well, so when I put this down, you can see it comes down nice and slow instead of just dropping down. We have our spray-in bed liner, as well as the cargo tie-down hooks. So those are adjustable. You can pull them, move them around as needed. That just helps secure your cargo better. You have a good spot to put them in. You can adjust them just where you need them. We do also have a 400-watt cargo outlet there. You turn that on in the front. I'll show you the button once we get up there, as well as those hooks down there to tie down. And then our cargo management system. Let me just go through all this, otherwise I'll forget. So you can put some boards across in these little indents there, and then what that does is divide up your cargo. So if needed, you can use that to help keep things secure where you'd like them in the truck bed. They work all ways, and then you can also put one across there, and that would help divide up your cargo if you want something lower and then something higher up. So if you're doing like drywalling, you can have your plyboard below and your drywall on top, whatnot. Before I close that up, let me just show you quickly. So this helps get up. You can step here and then step there and then get up into your truck bed. So if you ever have any mobility issues, or you just, have short legs like me, it's nice to be able to get up nice and easy. So there's a quick look at that. I'll put this away. Oh, one more thing. This is the access panel. If ever, when you take your tailgate off, which, okay, I'm going to mention it. You put it at a 45-degree angle, and then you lift as long as these little hooks are undone. So when you lift it up, you just make sure to unclip that there, and then unclip it on both sides. You can just lift it right off. But when you are putting it back, make sure to hook up your wiring again. That, if you do not, you're going to have to open up this access panel here to unlatch it manually. So just make sure to hook up your wiring. Okay, and this, to put it away, you just give it a little tap. It goes right away. The only thing is, make sure to lube that up. It will start to seize up after a while. I've had my truck for about a year and it's just starting to get hard to push in, so you're gonna want to make sure to lube that up as you go, probably with some white lithium grease, just like you would your door tracks or your hinges on the truck. For our fuel door, we do have a dual flap fuel filter, so that just helps stop dirt and debris from getting in your fuel, because you know, clean fuel means better working truck. We have our door pockets here, right here, power windows, back seat pocket. We also have our in-floor storage bin on this side, and then our 40 of our 60/40 split bench. So all the same things as the other side. I'll just quickly show you here. Then we're gonna hop up in front and I'll go over a few of the features up here for you. So here is our power adjustable lumbar support for our seat here, our driver's seat. I'm gonna hop up in here where it's nice and warm, and then I'll talk a bit more about it with you. Okay, so we do have the power adjustable seat. We have power adjustable mirrors, so you can adjust them as needed. You click left or right, and then you just use the arrows to move them as need be. They do also fold in automatically, so you press this button here and they fold in on both sides. Nice and easy. That's handy for if you're parking in a tight parking space, or if you're going through a drive-through and you just don't want to hit your mirrors, and then you just click them and they fold back out. So there's a quick look at that. And we have our power windows. If you want to lock your windows, you click this one there, and then this one is our power locks. We have our adjustments for our lights here. So this one is for your ambient lighting. So if you want to turn it brighter or darker in here, you just go ahead and play with that one here. Then we have our settings for our headlamps. So it is in auto mode right now. It will automatically detect based off of the light available which lights are needed, but you can switch them manually. Sometimes if you find that they're not coming on automatically, you just have to switch it on to the on mode, and then you'll be good to go. Below that, we have our power adjustable pedals. So you can see there we have the controls for moving them up or down. It's hard to tell when I show it on video, so if you press those, they do move. Below that, we have our button for our outlet in the truck bed that I had mentioned, and then our electric park brake as well, which you just pull to turn on, and then when you're ready to turn it off, you press your brake and push it. All right, so there's that. We do also have our adjustments for our steering wheel, so you pull this out and then you can move it up or down. They are telescoping as well. That is a standard feature nowadays, so they can move up or down, pull out. That's just to get it to exactly where you need it to be comfortable. And then, all right, I just have to turn down the heat because it's getting hot in here. And we have our rocker switches on the back. So this one does your tuning for your media. It'll change your radio stations as well as switch your songs. On this side, we have our audio control. So this one will turn the volume up or down as need be. And then if you press it, I believe it switches. Yeah. So if you click the middle button, because it has up, down, and this little middle button in the middle, that'll just switch your audio source. So there's a quick look at that. What else can I mention? Oh yeah, okay, I was gonna talk about the buttons. So on here we have our cruise control. Sorry, I just needed to listen to the intercom. There is our cruise control there. You can set the speed higher or lower after you activate it, and then you can cancel it and resume it. So when you click cancel, it doesn't fully disengage. It'll remain on in the background, but it just won't be active. So when you click resume, it'll reactivate it. If you don't click resume, it'll just remain inactive in the background. If you do click this button, it'll turn it all the way off. So you can see it comes on there. You click it again, it turns all the way off. Then we have our adaptive cruise control. So this one works in tandem with your regular cruise control by keeping you a certain distance from the vehicle ahead of you. So you can set the distance from farther to closer depending on what you feel comfortable with, but it will apply the brakes when you are getting too close, and it'll alert you if you really are getting too close. It can bring you to a full stop, but it will disengage. So if you come to a full stop and you're stopped for more than, I believe it's 2 seconds, then it'll disable the adaptive cruise control. So just keep that in mind if that ever happens, and you will have to reactivate it again. And we have our gear limits down here. So this is just mostly for setting how high or low you want the gear to be. So as long as you set it, it will not go above that gear. It can go below, it'll shift all the way up to the gear that you set, but it won't go above that. So that's what that's for. Then we have our voice recognition, and which is also our call answer, and then our call end. And we have our controls for our driver information screen, which is just in the middle of the cluster there. So I'll just quickly show you that driver information screen. I'm just going to scroll down. So we have our arrow buttons here. I'm going to use down to scroll through. So you can see your driver assist settings. I did enable the adaptive cruise control, so you can see here the settings for that. So you can see the distance that we've set, that it is active. If I were to disable that, it would show that it is off there. So that's how you would monitor that. It also works with the active lane management, which is it has a sensor or a camera behind there that reads the lane markings on the road, and it'll keep you within those lane markings. And it does provide some steering assistance, but you can adjust that in the UConnect screen. So with the active lane management, if you are starting to go outside, it'll vibrate the steering wheel, it'll alert you, and it'll also try and steer you back in unless you disable the steering assist. Then it'll only alert you, and you can kind of choose how it alerts you. I think it does a little beep as well, so you can make that an option, but it's really whatever you feel comfortable with. You kind of just play around with these settings, make sure that they're what you can be comfortable with. All right, below that we have our vehicle information page. So I just scrolled down further. We have our tire pressure. This just kind of goes through all of the vehicle information, so you can see our fuel economy. Don't be scared by that. That is just because this is a brand new vehicle. It hasn't been driven yet, so it kind of has its stats out of whack. This adjusts based off of your driving, so this is how you monitor it, making sure that you're getting the most out of your fuel. Then we have our gauge summary, so you can see the summary of all of our gauges there. So your oil temp, your coolant temp, all of that kind of stuff, your oil pressure, you can see that here. Scrolling down further, we have our trip information, so you can track 2 trips, trip A and trip B. That just helps monitor your fuel economy, the distance, you know, all that kind of stuff. Then we have our audio, so you can see what's playing, and our messages. So this isn't for your phone, this is for the vehicle messages. If ever, you know, it says check engine, low tire pressure, whatnot, it'll store those messages here for you to view later on. We have our screen set up, so this is just we have different spaces where you can put certain things. So let's say our current gear, we can turn it on or off. Odometer, favorite menus, default, upper left. So if we click that, we have some different things that we can put there. Like you can see, we can put our compass there, our outside temp, the time, how much range you have. So you can put all of that. They're adjustable in all 4 corners. So just play around with it, find out what you want to put there. And you can always go back and adjust them later on too. See? Then scrolling down further, we're back to our speedometer. One thing I didn't mention about the speedometer is you do have the option to switch between kilometers per hour and miles per hour. All you do is click OK on these little buttons here, and then it'll switch automatically. And then all you do to switch back is just click OK again. So there you go. We have our analog gauges on the side, then we have our little digital driver information screen, which is very helpful. I find that I use mine every single time that I drive my truck, so definitely it comes in handy. Here we have our gear shifter as well as our 4x4. So you can see all of our different things, all of our different options for our 4x4 settings. So we have 4-wheel drive auto. So it is it'll adjust based on the driving conditions. So if it is fairly slippery and you're losing traction, it will automatically engage all 4 wheels just to help you get that extra traction, and then disengage back to 2-wheel drive when it's no longer slippery, when it deems that the vehicle is on, you know, dry ground. So with that, we also have our 2-wheel drive, our 4 high and our 4 low. If you ever are towing this behind like a you know, RV or whatnot, you'd use this little neutral button here. So you do need something small like a pen or a pin, to go ahead and push that neutral button. There are instructions on how exactly to do that, so make sure to reference your owner's manual. It tells you exactly how to do that. Below that we have our auto start stop, so this just turns off that feature. So what the auto start stop is it'll turn off your engine when you are stopped at a stoplight or in heavy traffic for too long, and that's just supposed to save you fuel, cut back on emissions, whatnot. But a lot of people don't quite like that feature, so if you're one of those people, you can turn it off. All you do is press this button here. When it highlights, it disengages. It will not enable the auto start stop. It won't shut off your engine. The only thing is, this does you have to turn that off every single time you turn on the truck. So as soon as you hop in, you just go ahead and click this. If you don't like that feature, it won't activate, but you do have to do that every time. All right, and below that we have our select speed control. So that is basically like a slow motion cruise control. So that's when you're using your 4 low. And just make sure that you're not going too high, because you are supposed to go very slow when you're using your 4 low. That's meant for like crawling over really rough terrain like rocks and whatnot. So you do have to make sure that you're going slow, and that's when this would come in handy. I believe you can only go up to, I want to say 8 kilometers per hour. So you would engage your 4 low, use this one, and then it crawls automatically. You don't have to press the accelerator, none of that. It just crawls along at the speed that you set it as. And then you can, of course, set it up or down, you know, higher or lower, up to 8 kilometers per hour. Then we have our axle lock, so that just locks our back axle, so that way both tires spin at the same speed. That just helps with extra traction when you're really stuck. But other than that, if they're not locked up, they do run independently. Now let's go over to our UConnect screen. So UConnect, very, very handy to have. I love the UConnect systems. They are so user-friendly. On this one we have our home page, which has our little widgets, which are customizable. You just click that little pencil there. You can adjust which widgets that you want handy right when you turn on the vehicle. But we also have the big pages, so you can go to your media page. We have AM, FM radio, Sirius XM radio, as well as Bluetooth, or you can connect through USB or USB-C port, or auxiliary port if that's something that you still have. To browse our Sirius XM pages, you can go ahead and go here, and you can see the different pages that we have. If you go here, you can also click this one and tune to a specific radio station that you like. You can save your presets down here. So this one's already saved. How you do that is usually you just go ahead and hold it, and it'll set it there. It'll override whatever's already there. So if I were to want to put this as my second favorite, I would go ahead and do that, and it'll override it. One other thing is that for your favorites down here, your presets, it does have the nice, I forget what they call it, but it'll start from the beginning of the song. So when you turn on your vehicle, it'll start from the beginning of the song. You don't have to go back and rewind it or whatever. It's something that you'll barely even notice, but it's definitely handy, because you know when you're listening to your favorite radio station, it has your favorite songs. You want to hear the whole song, so that's a pretty cool feature. You can also go here for your sources and choose where you're getting your media from. You can go to audio to mess with the audio settings, so you can adjust the balance, fade, move the equalizer, speed adjusted volume. So based on your speed, it will, oh, it tells you down here, increases volume level relative to an increase in vehicle speed. So you know when you're going faster, your vehicle's getting louder, so it will adjust automatically, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so there's those. In our phone page, you can go to your device manager here. This is where you connect your Bluetooth, enable your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. You can also have 2 active phones. So what that is that you can have 2 phones connected to the Bluetooth at the same time. You can receive calls and text messages from both. But if you are playing from the media, you can only have 1 phone connected for media, because otherwise then it's fighting for control. So only 1 can play the media, but 2 can receive messages and receive phone calls. That's nice if you have a personal phone and a work phone and you want both connected, so when you're on the road, you know, you can get both of those much needed texts or phone calls. Speaking of which, you also have the hands-free option. So if you are getting texts or phone calls, the UConnect will announce that you're getting that message if you have that setting enabled, and then you can choose to let it read it out for you or not. and then it'll ask if you would like to reply and everything like that. All of that is hands-free. If you are wanting to, I think if you click this one, okay, yeah, so it just tells you, you can also use your digital assistant. So when you do connect your phone, if you do have it enabled, the Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you can also use your digital assistant. So for me, I have a iPhone. With that, I can use Siri. So I would say, hey Siri, do this, do that, and Siri will do that. She'll call the person, she'll text them. So that's nice to have. Vehicle information page, we have our rear view camera here. So you can see that there. Let me just move a little closer so it has better quality. We also have our trailer hitch zoom. So we do have the active guidelines. It will turn when the wheel turns, it'll move to show you where you're going. The middle line is for your hitch, for lining that up, and then we have the trailer hitch zoom. It'll zoom right in on your bumper. And we'll exit out here. Then we have our mirror dimmer. So that's our automatically dimming rear view mirror. You can enable it or disable it here. It just dims when someone's brightening you from behind. You can also test it by putting a flashlight on there. It's pretty cool to see. It does dim quite a bit. It won't enable though if you are in reverse. That's just to help you have that extra visibility. Then you can see all of the apps that are on the vehicle, like the activated services, your Wi-Fi hotspot, which if you are interested in, you can definitely ask us about. We'll be happy to tell you more. Your assist, so that's your roadside assistance, but we do also have the buttons up here as well. So your roadside assistance and your SOS buttons, that I believe is for as long as you have your basic warranty for, so 5-year or 100,000 kilometer depending. We have our interior lights, which you can turn on all, or you can turn them off. So even if you open the door, they will not come on. They have this little light here, which shines down into the center console so you can see what you're grabbing. Then this one controls our power sliding rear view mirror. I mean, not rear view mirror, rear window. And then we have our little compartment for our sunglasses. I'm gonna wrap this up because it's starting to get dark out. So below our screen here, you can see we don't have our comfort page. We just have the manual buttons for that. So we have heated seats, heated steering wheel. You can adjust the different climate controls here. So we can adjust the different modes, the heat, the fan settings. We do also have this is our active lane management. So when this is selected, that means that it's off and it will show up on your driver information screen. When it's not selected, that does mean it's on. We have our hazards, our mute button for our audio, and this turns our UConnect screen off. This one does your volume control and your tuning. Below that, we have our trailer brake controller, which you can set to your gain to when you are setting up your trailer brake. We have our front and rear parking sensors, so you can turn these off here. When they are selected, that means that they're not active. We have our tow haul mode, so when you select that, it just turns on the tow haul mode, so it's ready to tow a trailer. It kind of just changes how it shifts. Here we have our traction control. Those are these plugins for the phones that I mentioned, the USB, USB-C port, and auxiliary port. These little slots are for setting your phone there, so that way the cord can still come out the bottom. You have 2 spots, so you and your passenger can both have a spot to put your phone. Below that, we have a 115 volt outlet, so you can plug something in there. I find that I usually plug in like my iPad, because these chargers tend to be a little bit slower than an actual outlet. So I like to plug my iPad in there. My daughter's dies fast, so this just helps it charge faster and save a bit of a headache. Then we have this little cubby in here, which is kind of hard to see, but there is some storage space in there as well. Then we have this little rubber liner in here as well, which is all just big one piece because it does go. Let me just show you quickly. So we open up our center console. It does have a light there as well. So this part connects to this part. It's all just one big storage space underneath. We do have change compartments here, and this is also removable in case you spill anything there. We have our cup holders. Down here we do have a little divider since it is all one big piece. This just helps divide up the things down there. We do also have this little metric system here, so that's just, I don't know, just something to decorate the area since they're already using it. Then we have this second compartment, which is just a little smaller. You can put like your pens or a few papers, your receipts, whatever you need there. We have an extra USB. This won't connect to your UConnect, but it is handy to have in case you need an extra charger. And And yeah, what else can I mention? Our key, I didn't mention that we do have remote start on this one, as well as remote keyless entry. This is how you sound your horn in case you want to scare anyone away from your vehicle, or if you want to find it in a very, very big, busy parking lot. I know I've had to do that quite a few times. We also have our universal home remote here, so this can connect to your garage door, your gate, even your home security system or your lights, so that way you can you know, activate them while in your truck without having to get out or have an extra remote laying around. We have this 12 volt DC port, so you can plug in a car charger there in case you need that for anything. Let me just have a quick look at my sheet here. Sirius XM satellite radio. No, I feel like I've gone over everything with you guys, except for the four-wheel anti-lock disc brakes, which are kind of standard. I see them on most of the vehicles. But I will give you one final look since it is starting to get dark. There you go. If you watch this whole video, thanks for sticking around. If you do have any questions about the vehicle, always feel free to give us a call. We're always happy to help. Here's one final look at the exterior. Stunning. You can see that sunset in the background. I hope you all have a good night, and I'll see you in the next one.